How do you hack Google? It sounds impossible, I know. You can't imagine bad without good, ugly without beautiful, cold without hot. Well, can you imagine an internet without Google? If your answer is yes, imagine that Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, or any application you actively use is hacked and shut down for a few days. How hard does that sound, right? Even if you don't actively use Google-affiliated apps today, you use Google intentionally or unintentionally when you search for something or register on a site. This was to a much greater degree in the past. That's why it's hard to imagine an internet without Google, which has now become the key point of the internet. It has now become a common occurrence to hear that many companies, which have become world giants and have billions of users, have been hacked, closed for a few hours, or that user data has fallen on the internet. Because today, not only companies, but also the citizenship databases of almost every state in the world have been leaked to the internet. It is very ordinary to hear that any company has been hacked, except for one company, Google. Even hard to imagine, isn't it? It is much more difficult to think that Google was hacked and was down for a few hours than to think that any other application was hacked. But what if a group of hackers decided to hack Google and succeeded? Before moving on to the video, I try to improve myself every day in order to present the content I present in the best quality. 70% of the scenes in this video you will watch are either prepared by myself. If you like it, please do not forget to express your opinions in the comments. My subscriber count is very low, and my videos are not recommended. So if you subscribe and like the video, you will help me. Have a good time. Residents of the real side. If you are ready, let's start. The year is 14th December 2009. Exactly 1 week before the Christmas holidays, everything was going well at the Google office. A year of hard work was slowly coming to an end, and they were entering a long holiday. 2009 was a year in which Google made the Android operating system an important figure in the mobile device market, announced the Chrome OS operating system, and showed that it had gone from being just a search engine to a leading company in various areas of technology and innovation. And everyone in the office deserved a good holiday. While all employees were happily and carefully taking care of all their remaining work in anticipation of their holiday, there was one thing that no one was aware of. They were there. Someone, a group, was with them in the office. Although they were not physically present in that office at that moment, a group of hackers had infiltrated all the machines. Every second, they were navigating the system with marvelous meticulousness, examining some files that Google keeps with high security and trying to access some information. So who were these hackers? How could they hack Google? How long had they been with them? How much information was leaked? No one knew the answer to these questions, let alone asking these questions. The question of whether there was someone inside the system did not even occur to anyone in the office that day. Everyone had only one thing on their minds: the upcoming Christmas holidays. All the employees at Google were going about their work and going about their usual routines, unaware of what had happened and what was about to happen. Then, an office worker noticed something unusual happening on his computer and reported it to one of his superiors. And then, on that day, 14th of December 2009, at exactly 4 o'clock in the morning, a call took place that disrupted all order and peace in the office.
Hey, we think we have something on one of your Windows machines.
The phone rang for Tim N., who was responsible for the maintenance of Windows systems at Google. They were still unaware of what had happened. They thought there was just a slowdown in one of the Windows systems, while a hacker group was traveling around Google every second. Tim N was not a cybersecurity guy at that time. Tim's job was to resolve any problems with the computers of people using Windows systems in the Google office. Tim, who was very annoyed that such a problem had arisen as he approached the holiday, quickly walked to the problematic computer in the office. He sat down at the computer and started to examine the system. The unusual behavior of the computer he was examining did not even bring to Tim N's mind that a hacker might have infiltrated the system. But after spending some time on the computer, he realized the nightmare that had never even occurred to him. The hacking situation was bad, of course, but on the other hand, it was normal for Google. Because of its popularity, they were always a target at any time. Tim imagined that only one computer had been infiltrated, that he could quarantine it and solve the situation with a clean installation. But he encountered the real nightmare. The hackers had infiltrated all the computers, the whole network, the whole Google office. And that's when Tim N became very alarmed, because cyber attacks and security were not his field. So he tipped off someone in the know, Eric, Google's head of privacy and security. But there was something else Tim N didn't realize. Eric, the head of privacy and security, didn't know how to deal with such an attack. So Google was really desperate. So they thought of a very simple solution: to quarantine the Google office and collect all the computers. After the decision was taken, there was a big rush in the Google office. Someone was running around, unplugging, collecting computers, and leaving only a note on the desks. Your computers have been collected for security reasons. While Google was trying to fix the situation with primitive solutions, the hackers who had infiltrated the system were already getting the information they wanted. Perhaps no one was still aware of what was happening. Google didn't recognize itself because it didn't know how the hackers infiltrated the system, which way they got in, which vulnerability they used. They didn't know who the infiltrators were, what they wanted, so they didn't know their enemy. At this point, they decided to get help. They reached out to Dmitry Alperovich, the CEO of McAfee, the antivirus company at the time. The resolution of the incident and the finale. Since analyzing and solving a hacking attack on a company like Google would be every antivirus company's dream, Dmitry jumped at the chance and started analyzing Google machines with a large team. And he realized that the situation was much more complex than he thought. According to Alperovich, this was the most sophisticated and complex hacking attack he had ever seen. How did they hack Google? The hackers created a fake cybersecurity profile and connected with people working at Google in social spaces, communicating and even intimating with them for long periods of time, collecting information about who they talked to, what they liked, what they did at what time, and so on. And then what? Even if the reasons that make a billionaire and a homeless person on the street cry are not the same, the basis is the same: emotions. They preyed on Google employees, whom they had been following for months, at their weakest moments, with a single email. Is that you in this photo? Or isn't that your daughter? They would send them a link, along with questions that would pique one's sense of worry and curiosity. And as soon as the link was clicked, they were in the system. When the victim, who works at Google, clicks on the link, it redirects them to a fake site that contains a virus. If the link is opened with Internet Explorer, it automatically installs an infected version of Internet Explorer on the computer. Then they did this across the entire network. But why were they doing all this? This is where the worst part starts. Because everything the hackers did after infiltrating the system indicated that the attack came from China. First, the hackers broke into Google's Gmail system and accessed information, emails, and plans of Chinese human rights activists or dissidents. Then they searched for information on defense companies such as Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, and General Dynamics, which sell military equipment to the United States. As if that wasn't enough, they also tried to steal many of Google's newly developed security systems and Google's source code directly. They then delivered the information to Langxiang and Shanghai Jiaotong universities in China. It was precisely these two universities that were the source of the attack. The hackers did all this through a folder called Aurora, which was installed on the computer. In the 1917 October Revolution, the ship of the Russian Imperial Navy that fired the cannon that symbolized the revolution was called Aurora. This is how the Chinese symbolized their attack. After this attack, Google significantly changed its security policies and its perspective on cybersecurity and became more radical. Then they publicly announced this hack 2 weeks later and talked about the cyber attack they experienced. For the first time in history, Google had been hacked. Upon the announcement of these attacks, 20 companies, including Adobe, said they had also been attacked. The Chinese didn't just attack Google. Afterwards, many companies, including Google, withdrew all their services from China, the country with the largest population in the world. Today, if you go to google.cn, Google's extension for China, you are redirected to google.com, HK, Hong Kong. So, what happened to the attackers? The hackers who carried out this attack, which is believed to have originated from the Chinese state, have never been found and are still roaming the internet somewhere, so neither you nor any company is safe. So, who do you think this hacker group was? Who was behind this attack on Google? And what were the consequences of this attack? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed my video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next videos. Take care of yourselves.